Welcome back to my channel, and I want to talk to y'all about this all Korean musical about Tupac Shakur sparks controversy. That's right. Apparently, Asian people want to do All Eyes on Me, musical about black people, but only Asian people. South Korea, the same people who took over the black hair care industry through extreme means like this. Controversy has arisen online. Controversy has arisen online after an announcement. Circum controversy has emerged. Controversy has arisen online as an announcement of circulating about All Eyes on Me, an upcoming musical featuring the story of legendary rapper Tupac Shakur that features an all Korean cast. And this is like the dumbest thing I ever heard. Why would you do that? Don't y'all got your own heroes of plays as you could do with Korean people? See, and it's written by Sung Jong Won and composed by Kim Min So. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. This biopic's musical follows the life of Tupac Shakur and his rise to fame to the death to the this biopic follows the music this bio the this biographical this biographical musical follows the life of Tupac Shakur from his rise to fame to the death. This biographical musical follows the life of Tupac from his rise to fame to the day of his death. The musical will run from April 10th to May 24th at the Uniplex in Seoul. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not even gonna try. It's named after the late artist's 1996 album "All Eyes on Me," according to All Pop. Whatever that name is. The creator of the petition urges that the musical is problematic in that non-black people should not portray subjects such as police brutality and gun violence, aiding that Tupac's entire legacy was built on the foundation of black pride, and to have a non-black person play him is an insult to the legacy and everything he stood for. I find this also problematic. Hip hop was also built on, black pride also was African historical legacy pride too. The fact that that hip hop actually had cultural roots in Africa, West Africa, with the griots. And I find it very problematic that all people who are non-black wants to rap and do everything we do in hip hop when that culture is actually built around being black and being proud of U.S. African heritage. So that's also another controversy that need to be talked about too, because I see a lot of Asian or so-called Asian rappers who not even rappers at all doing that. Korean coastal vocal rapper Young B was also chimed into the discussion through a live stream, explaining his point of view as an official cast member of the upcoming musical. He is set to play the role of Biggie Smalls, also known as Notorious B.I.G. or Biggie, a rapper closely tied to Tupac, who is also widely known as one of the greatest rappers of all time. Dude, you're Asian, you're not black. You can't pull it off. This is blackface. Young B questioned the criticism brought upon by the announcement of the musical, saying, "Why are a lot of black folks mad about an Asian person portraying a black character in a musical? If the musical is not racist, or if the musical intentionally is portraying the struggle of black people, of black peoples, the black race is a positive light and bring awareness to cultural or hip hop. You know the roots of hip hop. Apparently, you don't know the roots of hip hop. This Dude, you're a culture vulture. You have no cultural idea. Nobody knows nothing about Korea. I don't know. Only I know about Korea is that Taekwondo because I took it up when I was younger, and I know about Korean barbecue, and I know about that's about it. Unless apart from Korean dramas that came out on Netflix, but that people don't know too much nothing about Korea because y'all don't promote your own culture. You promote black culture. I also do know that Koreans sabotage a lot of black hair care business before they could take it over because they could not make any economics off their own cultural businesses. That's it. Yeah, they all trace hip hop all the way back to the roots of West Africa. They don't trace it back to Korea, no parts of Asia, and clearly you don't understand or know anything about the culture. You're a culture vulture. Young B talks about the Tupac All Eyes on Me controversy. I have some questions and quickly realized that what he said did not sit well with me. This is for my acting career. Talk to the company, not to me. He then talks about us being stuck in the past. Dude, no, that's your acting career. No, you can't act. You suck. I mean, at one time, this was a recent post that came out. They said that a lot of Asians are saying that David Soul was just an Asian dude who wanted to be black. Well, pretty much anybody want to do hip hop who's not black are a bunch of people who wants to be black. Let's just face it. The Korean culture roaster rapper continue urging people to really try to, understand where the where the musical is coming from. If the director of the musical, if the company that cultivated, mm, the Korean culture roaster rapper continue urging people to really try to, understand where the musical is coming from. If the director of the musical, if the company that curate the musical did not respect black culture or did not love hip hop, they would not have made it. Okay, first of all, I'm tired of people, come up with the same thing saying, well, we respect black culture. Oh, we love hip hop. If you respect black culture, why the heck are you trying to rap or even make this play? When white people go and do something for Asian people, how many times you see them get white people to portray Asian people in a classical play? They don't do it no more. If somebody were to make a Bruce Lee movie that's white, they were not getting a white person to play Bruce Lee. Hell, when Bruce Lee, the Dragon story came out, they tried to get Brandon Lee, his son, to portray him. But then he opted out. He didn't feel comfortable portraying his dad, so they got Jason Scott Lee. They got another person who's Asian. His son looked more white, but they still want his son to portray his father, but he didn't want to do it out of respect for his father. And black culture, you don't even respect. Okay, Fred, you don't respect black culture. You want to respect your own Korean culture that we don't see you promoting none of it. Not like I said, not that people know too much about South Korea or so they know so well where a lot of movies are shot. Only y'all do is sit there and imitate black people. You don't respect our culture. You just leech off of it. You don't love hip hop. You don't even love yourself. Go over there in Korea, y'all have plastic surgery almost every day, right? Today, there probably at least probably 80 something to 100 Koreans who get an eye surgery to look more white, to look more Western, which is still is white. And you guys love doing them same talking point. Respect, if we didn't respect black culture, love hip hop. No, you don't love it. You just want to take it over and colonize the hell out of it. He continued his argument saying that it's a Korean musical not because something was going on in the state. He's like, if something you're messing with Asian culture over here in the United States, you still will get upset about it, regardless. You sound like a hypocrite. And like I'm saying, you seriously think these people could be your ally? They don't even respect our culture. They don't respect black culture. Well, hip hop was intended for a black audience. Period. And you can see that because y'all creating a false hip hop talking about Asian hip hop. No such thing as Asian hip hop. You are taking somebody else's culture and implementing your own stuff in because you don't want to see a black person perform their own culture. You want to see Asian people perform black culture, which make legitimately no sense. Or is y'all getting involved in hip hop because of Wu-Tang Clan, a bunch of charlatans and idiots who didn't have no respect for the culture to begin with, because they did, they would not be calling themselves Wu-Tang Clan. They'd be trying to get back to Africa as much as possible, which is what hip hop started off being, which is the core roots of hip hop, which is the grassroots of hip hop, not Asian culture. He talking about it is considered for a Korean audience. Look what he said. We just slapped in the face. Meant for a Korean audience. You know you are making Korean people the victim of police violence in America, which is not what it is. See, look at the talking points. I'll put it like this. If I would say hip hop, like I say, if I say again that hip hop if meant for a black audience, but you can still come and enjoy it, all y'all say, oh, reverse racism. You're anti this. You don't care about black people. Look what the heck they is doing. You would never catch nobody doing this. If a white person was to do this to any other people, black or white, if a white person do this, we would call them racist, white supremacists, and all this other stuff. Oh, they're racist. Oh, they don't like this certain group. White privilege. You know, all that will come out. Why the Asian people get the slide? Why these Korean people get the slide on it? No, you're not finna slide that. We hold white people accountable to the stuff they're doing. We finna start holding you accountable to stuff that you are doing. Look at it. One user wrote, so it's okay for a Korean man to act out the struggles of a black man in America went through. You know, one user wrote, so it's okay for a Korean man to act out the struggles of a. So one user wrote, one user wrote, so it's okay for a Korean man to act out the struggles a black man in America went through in the industry and country that does not want nor expect you based on your. One user wrote, so it's okay for a Korean man to act the struggles. So one user wrote, so it's okay for a Korean man to act out the struggles a black man in America went through in the industry and country that does not want nor accept you based on the color of your skin, which is true. Well, if I did came to this video before, if I came to this webpage before, the video was up there, but apparently he took the video down. Another user said, okay, so if an all black cast decided to do a Korean musical, I do not want to hear a peep. A pim. I'm sorry, it said pim, not peep. Another user said, okay, so if an all black cast decided to do a Korean musical, I do not want to hear a pim. You would never ever be able to go through the struggles of a black man or woman. Another user wrote, it's the fact that Koreans are so anti-black and disrespectful when it comes to black culture. So the fact that another user wrote, it's the fact that Koreans are so anti-black and disrespectful when it comes to black culture. So the fact they want to make this musical to show the struggles of the black man and woman and bring awareness to it, absolutely BS. South Korea, look, and I have to agree with what they saying too. Both the user. I mean, yeah, cause we were to make an all, all Korean movie, take like a historical Korean warrior. Like they take John Woo Cho, which is actually a famous scholar in Korean history. He was also known as a trickster of old Korea. Now, if we would take one of those characters and make him, black and say, "Oh, we telling this, but we doing it for a black audience," why, when they have the movie on Netflix, they probably don't have it no more on there, but they also have it on Amazon. Now, would you take a historical character like that or any of these historical Korean characters? Okay, here's someone right now. I can't pronounce their name, but you got Kyung Han Do, All Young Bong Bok, got King Si Jong the Great. I'm probably butchering some of the name, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. You would take any of these historical Korean characters and made them black and try to tell the story from a black perspective, saying, "Oh, but this is for the black audience." You would be upset and saying, "Well, you're blackwashing," or whatever dumb mental gymnastic term you want to use, which is blackwashing. Blackwashing is not done by black people. They're actually done by actually a lot of white artists in the comic book industry. But y'all get what I'm saying, and then try and justify it. No, y'all just trying to use hip hop and black people culture to generate money and relevancy. There's been a lot of stuff, historical characters in Korean history that nobody knows about that you could be actually telling yourself. I mean, they want to see a play or know the history of Tupac. There's documentaries, there are Thug Angels, there's a lot of hip hop documentaries on Tupac. There's a lot of life stories and interviews you can read up on and see Tupac. There's a lot of movies where Anthony Mackie, he played Tupac in the movie. It was a B.I.G. movie, I think it was called Notorious. Anthony Mackie played Tupac, and there's another Tupac movie that was coming out or just came out that didn't do too well, but it's a lot of stuff you can see about Tupac. But y'all let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel.